Hey, this is Damo from the Charter Connection Fishing Charters and the Vessel Diversity. I'm just in the office this morning. The boys are on their way out into the Gulf for another day's fishing. It's Saturday, 12th of May 2012, and our latest update. Yesterday and the day before we had been sort of fishing along the back of the Noisies there, and to be quite honest, it started to fizzle right out on the second day, and we just couldn't find them around there anymore. Snapper, that is. Still quite a few carway over there, Future Valley and stuff like that. But the snapper fishing wasn't great, the size was down, and we just really weren't getting, it wasn't happy times there for a bit. So we trundled on, and we went a bit further out. Had a look out in the Gulf. I'm going to show you where in just a second, and we got a few out there under some gannets. We also got a few when we followed some whales, well, two whales. They were quite a way apart. There was probably about 3 miles between them, but when you get desperate you start chasing spouts, and that's what we did. So it wasn't great fishing out there. The numbers were down, the fish were better, but in the end we came back and stumbled across a few just off the back of Tirri, not far off, and I'll show you where as well in just a second. And we got us some better fish there, so better numbers, about the same size, and there was also some carwai, John Dory. The boys got a kingfish and a couple more trevally as well, which was good to see, and you don't normally see them sort of where we were, but so that's good. And that was a bit better. So yesterday we went back to the same area, and of course it was been southwest 25 gusting 35 for 2 days, so you keep that in mind as well. That's why we haven't been fishing a bit wider. It's cooled things down a wee bit, and so we went back there to the back of Tirri, and we basically just hung in there all day, and we anchored, and I know, shock horror, and we anchored and we burleyed using a couple of burley things that we use. And the fishing was okay. I think there's about 55, 65 fish for the day, and quite a few chuck back too, those small ones that come along. So that's about the guts of it. I'm going to show you sort of what we've been doing, where we've been drifting, and where we've been anchoring and burling, and you can pick the bones out of that. Just on a note with the burley, we run a wobble pot, and one of the nice little things about the wobble pot is when the manufacturers make these. They have basically a truck spring, if you like, a coil spring in a mesh bag, and then what they do to secure the spring in the bag is they use a cable tie around the bottom of the bag, around the bottom of the sack, and then and that secures the coil in the bag. But this is where it all turns to custard for them. Well, for us actually, and for them, and for you. What happens is the cable tie breaks normally after a few uses, and your spring falls out, and you lose your coil, so then you have to go and buy another wobble pot. So it's quite a good little feature that they've built into that for them. For us it sucks, and for you it sucks, and for anyone using a wobble pot it sucks, and they're not cheap, so that sucks as well. And so what we do now is when we're getting a new wobble pot, like we've just got another one, we tie the bottom of the mesh bag closed with an extra cable tie and also a bit of rope, and we just knock that up good, and we check it every couple of times we chuck it down. I also stick a big swivel on mine as well. You can get these at engineering shops or riggers or sail shops and stuff like that, and basically when you pull it up it stops your rope from turning into a big bunch of bastards as well. So and if you store your rope in a loose hank, then that's a good feature. We'll store ours on a plastic coil that you get cabling on. You can buy some heavy duty or find some at a building site or something like that, or talk to your mate who's a sparky, and get one of these cable coils, and you can coil your rope around that. It's also easy to set. You just bang your arm through it and let it spin off to the bottom. It hits the bottom. We pull it up about 2 to 3 meters depending on the current and the location. So other tips there I can give you later on, and that tends to disperse the burley pretty well. We use 3 different burleys. We use a tuna burley, which we get from Top Catch. It's pretty good, and we use a mussel and kinner burley. That's more expensive, but that's probably one of the better ones. And then lately we've been using some burley that Mike, the Manly Village Butcher, makes. Now Mike gets the Cherokee and cod and other stuff for the market. He doesn't use any snapper, he won't use any shark, and he won't use anything that's detrimental to attracting fish in his burleys, and he minces it all up and he makes them the same size that fit in a large wobble pot. They won't fit in a small one, but however you can take your own container in to see Mike and he'll make them up. So find the right size bucket for your particular burley pot, take them in there. They're a damn sight cheaper, they work real good, and that's what we've been using this last week, so about 2 weeks actually. Okay, so I'm on my iPhone here, so I'm just going to try and spin things around so that we're looking at the chart. I'm just going to run you through a couple of things we've been doing, where I saw the mammals, where Chris caught those snapper off the ahas, and where we were yesterday at Tiri. So just bear with me, I'll spin this around. Okay, so over at the ahas, you can see there, it's just off the back of the Noisy sort of thing, and just off Maria and Durval Rock down there. There's quite a bit of foul through there. There's a lot of squiggles on the chart that have been pretty productive. Been getting a lot of carwai and snapper through there. Hard off the Noisies, you can see there's a couple of pins, and they also is where we found some fish backed up against on the northeastern side, and in that hard ground between this pin and the ahas. Further down here, north of Gannet, is where we saw the whale spouts, and that's pretty much where we went and had a bit of a chase down there. But also further up the chart, up around the H there was more whale spouts and stuff, so we went up there. But again, like I said, it wasn't that flash, and it didn't last long. The gannets weren't really there in major attendance. They sort of hovered around. They were looking at the spouts too. And then we tracked back, and on the way home is where we stumbled on some fish out the back of Tiri here. So as you can see, Tiri's pretty close to Gulf Harbour, and is a good option in some southwest. You get good shelter, and it's only a short run home in a small boat if you needed to punch your way back. So that's an option there for your small boats. And it was about here that we caught the snapper, and that's what we've been doing there. So we were anchored and burleyed there. You'll see a little bit of broken ground in this area, and that's probably about the guts of it at the moment. So you can also get along the back of Carwell. I know the boys might venture up that way again today if things at Tiri don't shape up like they should, and or like they hope. And yeah, so that's about the guts of it. I'll leave you with that. This is Damo, Charter Connection Fishing Charters and the Charter Vessel Diversity out of Gulf Harbour. Check us out at www.charterconnection.co.nz.